Now, the flamboyant founder of fake cryptocurrency OneCoin, Ruja Ignatova, is the world's most wanted woman. Dubbed the missing crypto queen, she's on the FBI's top 10 most wanted list.
The Crypto Queen, or a ghost? Was she even human? Some say she was, but the FBI can't seem to find her. Before she vanished, she built an empire. Not of bricks, but of promises. They called it OneCoin, a currency that didn't even exist. Millions believed. Billions were invested. Some called it the future of money. Others, the greatest scam in history.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Ruja Ignatova!
The creator, the mastermind, the founder of OneCoin.
Are set to revolutionize the future of cryptocurrency. We're the Facebook of cryptocurrency.
The Bitcoin killer.
And then, she disappeared. No trace, no body, nothing. The FBI has been hunting her for years. But the Crypto Queen remains a ghost.
Ruja Ignatova.
Ruja Ignatova.
Ruja Ignatova.
Ruja Ignatova.
Ruja Ignatova.
The Crypto Queen, or a ghost? Ruja Ignatova, the woman who captivated the world. A visionary, some called her. A genius in the realm of cryptocurrency, others said. But behind her carefully crafted image was a story of lies, deception, and one of the biggest financial scams in history. In 2014, the world was introduced to a woman who promised to revolutionize the financial world. A woman with a vision to bring financial freedom to millions through a cryptocurrency known as OneCoin. Ruja Ignatova's pitch was simple yet seductive. Invest in OneCoin, the future of cryptocurrency. Unlike Bitcoin or Ethereum, which were often viewed with skepticism, OneCoin promised a guaranteed return, a chance to get in on the ground floor of a financial revolution. But behind the glitz and glamour was a web of deception. OneCoin was never a real cryptocurrency. It was a pyramid scheme, disguised as an opportunity. The more people invested, the higher Ruja and her associates climbed, and the more they took. As Ruja's empire grew, so did the cracks in the foundation. Investors poured in their money, believing in her promises of instant wealth. But the more they invested, the more they were trapped in a cycle of false hope. OneCoin was never a cryptocurrency. It was a business of illusion. Ruja's empire was built on lies. She sold the idea of financial freedom while secretly pulling the strings from behind the scenes. She became the Crypto Queen, a symbol of hope for millions, but also the architect of their downfall. But what Ruja Ignatova didn't anticipate was that her empire would one day come crashing down. And as the millions she promised wealth to turned into victims, she disappeared without a trace, and the search for her began.
This coin is going to be #1 worldwide.
Beneath the shine of OneCoin's glossy exterior lay a fraudulent empire built on deception and lies. Investors were promised wealth, but instead they were caught in a web of illusion, a pyramid scheme masquerading as a cryptocurrency revolution. OneCoin wasn't a cryptocurrency. It was a carefully crafted pyramid scheme. From the outside, it looked like a financial dream, but at its core, it was a lie.
I was €10,000, but of course you speak to family, friends. So from my investment and the people that I spoke to, it is a collective loss of over €250,000.
I lost my family's money, been pushed out of my community. I just feel worthless.
A money-making machine that fed on new investors to sustain itself. Investors were forced to buy into training packages just to get their hands on the currency. But the truth? The coins didn't exist, the wallets didn't work, and the technology, the very thing that made it all sound legitimate, was nothing more than smoke and mirrors. As the months went on, more and more investors joined, pouring millions into the system, believing they were getting in on the ground floor of a digital revolution. But the only revolution OneCoin was creating was for Ruja and her associates, as they watched their bank accounts grow while the investors lost it all. At the heart of OneCoin was Ruja Ignatova herself, a woman who convinced millions that she was a financial messiah. Her charm, her words, her vision, all carefully designed to pull people into her web. But Ruja's empire was built on empty promises. The more people believed, the more money they poured into the system. The more they believed, the deeper they fell. The truth was that Ruja and her inner circle were laughing all the way to the bank, living in luxury as the world around them collapsed. As the truth began to leak out, the empire started to crumble, but by then, Ruja had already vanished. She had taken everything, the money, the assets, and left behind only broken lives. The investors? They were left holding the empty promise of OneCoin, their money gone without a trace. But for those who were caught in the OneCoin trap, the damage was done. For some, it was more than just money. It was their future, and the trust they had in a system that promised them wealth and freedom. Instead, they were left with the stark realization they had been lied to. The truth was clear now. OneCoin was never a cryptocurrency. It was a fraud, a pyramid scheme designed to make the few wealthy and the many pay the price. Ruja Ignatova built her empire on lies, and for those who followed her, the consequences would be devastating. In 2017, the truth began to surface. OneCoin was a scam. People realized they had been tricked out of their savings, their hopes of financial freedom shattered. $4.5 billion had been invested by thousands around the world. And as the world began to grasp the magnitude of the deception, Ruja Ignatova disappeared. The first signs of OneCoin's collapse came when investors started asking questions. Banks refused to honor OneCoin transactions. The cryptocurrency wallets didn't work. And the technology behind OneCoin turned out to be a complete fraud. With billions gone, it wasn't long before authorities started closing in on Ruja and her associates. Ruja's disappearance came at the height of the scandal. The authorities were closing in, and the FBI issued a $5 million reward for any information that could lead to her arrest. The question was no longer how she disappeared, but why? Was it the pressure of the investigation? The unraveling of her empire? Or was there something more to her escape? On October 25, 2017, Ruja Ignatova boarded a flight from Sofia to Athens, Greece. That was the last time she was seen in public. With the authorities closing in and the walls of her empire crumbling, Ruja made her escape and vanished into thin air. The global manhunt began. The FBI, Interpol, and law enforcement agencies across the world launched a massive search. But despite multiple theories, from her hiding in Dubai to possibly living under a false identity in Russia, Ruja seemed to have vanished without a trace. Rumors swirled that Ruja was living in luxury, hidden away in one of the world's most exclusive locations. Investigators chased leads from remote islands to hidden mansions, but no one was ever able to provide concrete proof of her whereabouts. And every lead turned into a dead end. Some theories pointed to organized crime. Was she hiding with the help of the Bulgarian mafia? Was she living under the protection of those who helped her escape? One thing was certain. Ruja Ignatova's disappearance wasn't just a random act. It was part of a larger, darker story. Interpol worked around the clock, trying to track her movements through flight records and financial data. Yet every search came up empty. The woman who had once captivated the world with her promise of riches had now become a ghost, a phantom of the cryptocurrency world. The search continues, but as the world waits, the question remains, where is Ruja Ignatova? Is she living the life she promised her followers, hidden in plain sight? Or has she gone to ground, somewhere the authorities can never find her? The hunt for the Cryptoqueen is far from over, but as the world waits for justice, one thing is clear. Ruja Ignatova's story is not over yet. The question remains, where is she? For those who believed in OneCoin, the aftermath was devastating. Families lost their savings, their homes, their futures. As the world learned the truth, the real victims were left behind. Their trust shattered, their lives forever changed. Jennifer McAdam, a victim who lost over £200,000, led the charge for justice. Her voice echoed the pain of thousands who had been duped by the Cryptoqueen. The financial and emotional toll was immeasurable.
Like that. And before you know it, this grew like wildfire.
How much did your friends and family invest, Jen?
Our total loss, including mine, is over 250,000.
250,000.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It's still hurting you really bad, and understand.
And how did you feel when you realised that you weren't going to get your money back?
Oh, it's devastating. I still can't really put it into words. It took the legs from me when I realised it was a fraud. I'll never forget that moment. My legs went to jelly and just went, and I fell to the floor.
While Ruja Ignatova remained a fugitive, her associates weren't as fortunate. Sebastian Greenwood, the co-founder of OneCoin, was sentenced to 20 years in prison in the United States for his role in the fraud. But for many victims, justice feels incomplete. In the courtroom, the true scale of the fraud came to light. Over $4.5 billion had been siphoned from innocent investors. OneCoin was more than just a scam. It was a massive orchestrated heist that affected millions worldwide. For some, the damage was irreparable. People lost their life savings, their homes, their businesses. Families were torn apart by the lies, trust broken by the woman who promised them the future. Despite the ongoing search for Ruja Ignatova, victims have not remained silent. Some have taken legal action, filing lawsuits and fighting for compensation. But the road to justice is long and uncertain. OneCoin's collapse marked a pivotal moment in the history of cryptocurrency. But it didn't end there. As OneCoin's legacy looms large, new scams continue to emerge, using the same tactics and the same promises of quick wealth. The cryptocurrency world has changed since OneCoin. New regulations, new safeguards, and a better understanding of how to detect scams have emerged. But for the victims of OneCoin, these changes come too late. The search for Ruja Ignatova continues with no answers in sight. But her victims refuse to give up. They demand justice, not just for themselves, but for the millions who fell victim to OneCoin's web of lies. The world will never forget the legacy of OneCoin, an empire built on deceit, where trust was broken and lives were ruined. As the hunt for the Cryptoqueen continues, one question remains: will justice ever be served? Despite the global manhunt, Ruja Ignatova's location remains a mystery. Interpol, FBI, and law enforcement agencies across the world have followed every lead, but there is still no sign of the Cryptoqueen. Over the years, theories have emerged. Some believe she's hiding in Dubai, blending in with the ultra-wealthy elite. Others speculate she may have escaped to Russia. But could she be living in plain sight under a different name? Or has she sought refuge in one of the world's most remote locations beyond the reach of the law? The authorities are certain she's still out there. The trail may be cold, but they won't stop searching. Despite the increasingly complex nature of the hunt, each clue leads to a dead end, and every theory seems to disappear into thin air. For Ruja Ignatova, hiding wasn't just about evading capture. It was about escaping the destruction she caused, the people she deceived, the billions she took, the promises of wealth that turned into broken lives. Her disappearance isn't just a missing person case. It's a global mystery, the final chapter of a woman who built an empire on lies and deceit. But for every new theory, there are more unanswered questions. Where is Ruja Ignatova? The authorities are still searching. The victims are still demanding justice. But as time passes, it feels like the world is losing hope. The hunt for Ruja Ignatova is a story that still hasn't ended. And as the years go by, the question remains, where is she? Will she ever face justice? Or has she truly vanished, hidden from the world forever? The story of Ruja Ignatova and OneCoin is a stark reminder of how vulnerable we all are to scams. Whether it's cryptocurrency fraud, Ponzi schemes, or fake investment opportunities, the digital world is filled with dangerous traps. But there is a way to protect yourself. At Tealeris, we use cutting-edge AI technology to safeguard your online presence and protect you from scams. With our intelligent systems, we monitor suspicious activity, detect fraud, and ensure that your digital identity is safe from those who seek to exploit it. Tealeris uses advanced AI algorithms to detect fraudulent schemes, just like OneCoin, before they can cause harm. Whether it's spotting fake online stores, identifying Ponzi schemes, or blocking phishing attempts, our technology is your shield against the growing number of scams in the digital age. With Tealeris, you can rest easy knowing that our AI-powered tools are working round the clock to protect you. No one should have to experience the pain and financial loss caused by scams. Let us help you stay safe, secure, and informed. Visit Tealeris.com today to learn more about how our AI-powered cybersecurity can protect you from scams and give you peace of mind online. We're here to help you stay one step ahead of cyber criminals. Don't wait until it's too late. Take control of your online security with Tealeris. If you found this documentary insightful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Stay informed, stay protected, and help us spread awareness about scams and cybersecurity. Together, we can make the digital world safer for everyone.